Okay. April. And we have the Hangman here. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so it feels like March and April is the time for pausing, is the time for reflection, is a time where it may feel a little uncomfortable. We do have some retrogrades beginning in April. I wrote them down because there's a bunch this year. We have Jupiter, Pluto. Well, we have Jupiter in the beginning of April, and then Pluto and Saturn going retrograde towards the end of April. And then they stay in retrograde for, for quite a few months. And those are all about discipline, transformation, and expansion. And this is why this is calling you to really reflect on where it is you're going. So these pauses are the times to really get yourself organized and create an environment that is supporting that creative growth. So what you let go of and why you let go of it is what you should be reflecting on in March and April. Why you released this and why it was so important to you to release this. And, the reason for releasing it was so you can place more focus in another area, redirect your passion and your ambitions. And the feeling that you felt in February is what you want to continue to feel for the rest of the year. But, emotions and life fluctuates. So when things start to get a little rough and a little hazy, this is the time to slow down and prepare is what I feel like is going on. Like you want this feeling all the time, this blissful curiosity for life, and we're going towards a new goal here. And so it feels like March and April are the time to prepare for this new venture. So in this deck, this is called the Awakening. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So it's important to really stay in this here, like why you did what you did. And it's, being true to yourself, being true to your authentic desires, keeping that in your focus during March and April as you prepare your surroundings. So on Instagram, I had a post about manifestation and divine timing. And I talked about how manifestation is setting up your environment to welcome in those changes that you have set intentions for. So you set intentions here by releasing and redirecting your focus. Like, this is what I want and this is how I always want to feel. And now we have to set up our environment to reflect that, to like creating a giant magnet in our surroundings for that to come into our lives. How do we do that? You do what you need to do with your home to reflect these changes, with your finances to reflect these changes, spending less here, spending more here if it's going to benefit these desires, your interactions within your relationships, how you shifting here and there. And also working on that spiritual aspect of yourself, because as you are tapping into those desires more and more, you're going to start seeing what is real in your life and what is fake and what doesn't belong and what belongs. So there's like a shedding here, especially in January, February, March, April. In April, there could be a shedding here, a releasing. I mean, definitely in January, but in here as well, because we have deception here. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. And I feel like this could be you because of this feeling that I have about closing the heart off to push forward to continue achieving what it is that you want in your life. You know, the heart center got closed off, or other areas of your life got closed off. And it's like you put on this show in that area of your life, you know, so people don't think that there's anything wrong. But this mask needs to be released so you can continue your awakening process. It feels uncomfortable because you've closed off that part of yourself for so long. It's time to get more real in that department, especially in your relationship. It's like you can get deep with someone if you want to, but there's still a wall there. There's still a wall of like being afraid to fully show myself within a relationship, which is something to really consider, especially in April. Because if you're going through some stuff in your relationship, this is the time to get real about what you want in this relationship, who you are in this relationship, and what you're bringing to it, and how you're holding back as well. I mean, this could also be people around you maybe wearing false self masks as well, you know, and it's common because it's like a form of protection. It's how we protect ourselves. It's like using money as a way to decide your worth or another person's worth in a relationship, feeling like you're better than another person because you make more money, or feeling less than another person because you make less money, or just doing, you know, self-protection is going on within relationships. Why are you protecting? What are you protecting? And, you know, you can't really fully be in a relationship if you're not fully being vulnerable. So that's something to consider. And this isn't something that can really be healed overnight. This is just more of a realization here and an understanding of what needs to be released, what areas of your life are just for show, and where you need to get more real. So this is more of just like epiphanies coming in, you know, seeing things in a different way when you take that mask off, and just figuring out what needs to be healed and why, and continuing this process of personal healing. And again, so like all of these, the romance cards, if you're not in a relationship, this could be your relationship with yourself, or it could be, you know, a relationship with somebody that is important in your life, friendship, a family relationship. May. So I feel like in, you know, as you're going through this self-realization in April, you know, and you went through this self-doubt in March, and then now you're understanding, you're having these epiphanies, and it may feel frazzly and uncomfortable during these 2 months, and it can take a toll on you mentally as you start to grasp these concepts that you haven't allowed yourself to really fully understand, it can take a toll on you. And so we have the Three of Air, which is another mental aspect, and it follows the Two of Air. So it's like you've gone through this time of indecision, self-doubt, and, you know, fighting with yourself, or, you know, creating distractions to avoid dealing with a problem. And then now it's time to deal with the problem. And you're going through the process of shedding what isn't real. And then there's like this mental exhaustion after all that work. So Three of Air says, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. And I feel like that is perfect timing. You know, there could be some conflict here, you know, some self-discoveries, things that you may feel shitty about, or things that you may just be discovering, or hearing or seeing from another person's perspective, you know, especially from the other person in a relationship, their perspective, and seeing where improvement is being called in. So we have this time where you may be a little bit down on yourself. Like, I thought things were okay, but I'm discovering that there's areas of my life and of my relationship that need work, that I didn't think actually needed work, but it really does. And, you know, there's some healing I need to do. And it's like the healing for this month is forgiveness. So forgiving yourself or others. And for me, forgiveness is, especially if this is about circumstances in the past, this would be, you know, understanding that at that moment in time in the past, you did the best in that situation with the knowledge and understanding that you had at that time. You know, you did the best that you could, and that's it. And now you have the wisdom now, and you understand better, and you've learned from that experience. So you can only release that. So, and just move forward. Like, that's what forgiveness is all about. It's like understanding that you did your best with what was given to you at that moment in time. And you can't beat yourself up about something that you didn't know at the time, and now you know. You know what I mean? And same thing goes with other people. You deserve love is the card that's coming up for May. So this is something to really keep in mind, you know, as you are going through this self-awareness and self-growth and healing within these months. Just, you know, calling in love over and over, and understanding that you are deserving of love. You know, you're not a disaster. Like, just because you have flaws doesn't mean no one could ever love you, because that's just ridiculous, because we all have flaws. We've all made mistakes. We all have our own version of our own mask. So you can't really, don't beat yourself up too much. This is just more of a, like, the reason for these experiences is to understand where your focus needs to go, to understand where growth needs to occur. And, you know, it's just an understanding. It's not a wallowing. It's not a guilt trip. And it's not beating myself up about my life. You know what I mean? It's just an understanding. And everyone deserves love and is capable of being loved. So that is really something to consider this month. If a relationship has ended, you know, don't feel like that's the end of everything. You know? This is definitely a heart-opening year for you. And then strength comes back in for June. So you're getting your mojo back. So there's static, there's self-awareness, there's a little bit of exhaustion here in May, and then you get your mojo back. So there's a healing process occurring in May, like a licking of the wounds almost. And then in June we have strength, and this month, June and April, are pretty significant months because they have the major arcana cards in them, and that signifies major events. So in this learning and unraveling and discovery and healing process here, you come out the other side much stronger and much more empowered than you were at the beginning of the year. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. So through forgiveness, like in forgiving, you gain strength. Because holding grudges against others and against yourself only drains your personal power. It holds control over your life. It limits yourself. So stepping back into your strengths, knowing that you deserve love, and stepping back into that energy, like, all right, I've learned something and I've prepared my environment to reflect this desire. The purpose for what it was I was going through was so I can release things that needed to be released, so that my heart will open again and I can continue to feel this blissful feeling of adventure and, stepping into this new passion. And now I'm feeling strong enough to take on what's coming next. Like, I'm ready to handle this new ambition, this new direction in life, because I've cleared out the crap. I've cleared out the energetic crap that was holding me back from fully stepping into that. You know what I mean? This is a energetic healing going on from March through May. And you come out the other side and you're stronger and you're more empowered and you're ready to take on this new journey fully and completely. And in the way to do that is to love yourself first. It says your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And this could also be your self-respect, honoring your true desires and releasing what doesn't work for you, and embracing the joys that come from honoring your desires helps you to attract more of that what you want in life, if that makes sense. So yeah, you'll be more romantically attractive, but you'll also be more ambitiously attractive, like universally attractive. Your energy is clear, and now you can finally vibrate at this level that just magnifies everything that your soul truly desires for your life, so that you can bring it in towards you, and you have the strength to handle other areas of your life as well.